So today I want to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. There's been a lot of rumors flying around recently and leaks, and I don't know, it seems like every single day some outlet is putting out another crazy clickbait article about Nintendo Switch 2 is going to have these crazy features. And but what I don't think a lot of people have thought about is what the Nintendo Switch 2 actually needs to succeed. The Wii U may have been a very bad console, or it was a good console that was badly received, I should say. But there's one thing the Wii U had that made me actually go out and purchase a Wii U right at the end of its life cycle, and that's Splatoon. Let me explain. So, back in the very distant past of 2015, I went to MCM Comic Con in London, and I'd already seen Splatoon advertised. It looked pretty good. It was a fresh new IP for Nintendo, and that was on everyone's radar. Everyone was excited. And I saw a whole family dressed as Inklings, two mother, father, and two children running around with actual rollers and a really good cosplay, right? After going there and seeing that and already wanting Splatoon, I went out and purchased a Wii U that came with Splatoon, the pack that came with Splatoon and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or Mario Kart 8 at the time. I love Splatoon. It's a great game. To this day, I'm a Splatoon maniac, right? Like, I'm a fiend for Splatoon. Give me the paint, give me the Inklings. And so, even though it was a doomed console, it still got me to go out and purchase it. And I think that the Switch 2 needs a Splatoon, it needs a killer app to really succeed. And let's go into why that is. So when the Nintendo Switch came out in 2017, it was novel. It was a great idea. It was a console that was hybrid. You could plug it into your TV, you could play it on the big screen, but you could also take it with you wherever you went portably. This had never been done. That was crazy. The games came on carts, amazing. You could just plug that in and go, throw it in your bag. You know, we all remember that first trailer. It was great. The Switch also released alongside Zelda Breath of the Wild. So it had that combination of fresh new console, fresh new idea, but also it had an absolutely killer game to go with it. So it's, you know, how could you not pick up a Switch and Breath of the Wild if you had the money in March of 2017? But fast forward to 2024, and we've got to really think about this. The Switch has a lot of competition. You've got the Steam Deck, the ASUS ROG Ally, the Lenovo Legion. Everybody and their mothers is making a handheld game that you can play PC games on, full fat games. And let's be honest, the Steam Deck and all of those other competitors play them better than the Switch because they're more powerful, but also because they play the PC versions of the game. So the textures are better, the graphics are better, you know, all of that great stuff. So where does that leave the Switch in 2024? It's no longer the fun, trendy console. Have you tried scrolling through the eShop lately? It's very, very laggy. The hardware just can't keep up. And what worries me is if Nintendo just release a more powerful version of the Switch, it's gonna flop. The Switch 2 is just a Switch on steroids, especially if you can't play your old Switch games on there and they don't follow you across like Nintendo love to do. I think they might shoot themselves in the foot. Nintendo doesn't think about this and bring a killer app, a Splatoon, a fresh new IP with the Switch 2's release, and the Switch 2 is just a more powerful Switch. I think they're going to be in trouble in the long term. You're always going to have your hardcore Nintendo audience that loves Nintendo games, and that's great. But the problem with that is Nintendo have been relying on the same few franchises for years now. They've got a free pass with the Switch almost because it was so popular, it was so hybrid and at the beginning. But we've had a couple of Zeldas, we've had some Mario games, you know, we've had 3 Splatoon games now, and I love Splatoon, but you know, if there isn't a fresh new IP, like if they don't let their devs run wild like they did with Splatoon back in 2015-16, and create something new and fun, there really isn't going to be a huge draw to getting the Switch 2, and especially if the leaks and the rumors are right. I mean, we only just had Tears of the Kingdom, so if it does come out soon, even if it comes in 2025, we'll say, you know, Nintendo are a sucker for tradition, so it's likely it'll be March 2025, right? Just like the Switch was March 2017. But if there's, what are they going to release with it? They've just released a Zelda, which Tears of the Kingdom was a great Zelda game. It was fun, but it was, it wasn't the crazy innovation that Breath of the Wild was. Wow, open world. No, Tears of the Kingdom was just more of that. And so it's been a while since Nintendo actually innovated. I think Nintendo needs to innovate, and I think we need to see it slap right at the beginning with a Switch 2, because if they release the Switch 2 and it's just like, hey, Tears of the Kingdom looks a bit better, it's not going to gel with the Nintendo crowd. Of course, I will buy one. Many Nintendo fans will just buy one anyway, but the audience for gaming is very vast outside of the enthusiasts. So for every person who watches this video, there's going to be, 20 people we know who only buy Call of Duty every year. They only buy FIFA, they only buy Madden, and that's it. So you're not going to get that crowd. I just think that Nintendo's in a very strange situation at the moment with what they can do. They've kind of backed themselves into a corner where they can't just make a home console anymore. They can't just make a handheld anymore, because they've committed to this kind of hybrid take it anywhere, and to regress and to go back on that would make both camps unhappy, because they've effectively managed to mesh the handheld 3DS camp with the Wii U camp into one, and now they have one player base. They have to stick with it. But if they're only going to create a more powerful Switch, well, that's great, bigger screen, whatever. I mean, I'm there for it, but they also need the games to back it up. And we look at this generation in 6-7 years, they've really not pushed out a lot of good. We've had Mario Golf, Mario Tennis Aces, but I mean, I'm talking about mainline games, fresh, new, fun content. Again, with the Switch, they've relied a lot on the indies. They've made a big deal of indies, but the problem is now you can play your indies on the Steam Deck and all of those other things. So it's a weird time. I hope Nintendo. I mean, I hope Nintendo do come out and make something fun that we all love, and we don't see it coming. It's out of left field. We're like, wow, that's the Switch 2 is crazy. That's going to be really great. But yeah, we're in a really weird time where they haven't announced anything, but we're getting lots of leaks. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, what do you want in a Switch 2? Let me know down below in the comments. I'm really interested to get this conversation going, because it's a really weird time. Anyway, see you in the next video.